Alright everyone, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with a review of Gerald Robotnik. The very first action figure ever released of Dr. Eggman's grandfather, and looking very accurate to the lab coat look he had at the early part of the movie. Like with the other Robotnik figure, part of me wants to have his final suit from the end of the movie, although for this one, since this is a more game accurate look, I'm okay with it. I really would prefer if we could get a Sonic Movie 3 costume, like what Robotnik had at the end of the movie, since that actually looked like a movie version of the game outfit. But I digress. I'm not here to rant about the costumes just yet. I'm here to read a bio. Professor Gerald Robotnik is the genius scientist behind Project Shadow and grandfather to Dr. Ivo Robotnik. So yes. The funny thing is, since the movies are set in a specific year, that means that 50 years ago for him would have been the 1970s. 1974 to be exact. Yeah, 1974. I find that amusing. When Sonic Adventure 2 first came out in 2001, 50 years prior would have been 1951. Which is notable because that means that they would have had that space colony arc in orbit before the moon landing. I think before we even had, I think in real life we were still launching Mercury capsules. Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, I don't really remember when we had our first manned space flights, but yeah, 1951 is really pushing it. The technological development in Sonic's world was significantly faster than it is in ours if they already had a big-ass space colony in 1951. Then again, in 1974, it's not exactly more plausible, but at least by that time, we had already done the moon landings. I don't know. Anyway, I'm musing. Let's get this guy out of the packaging and take a look at Old Man action figure. Alright, so here is Gerald Robotnik out of the packaging. I'm going to call him either the Professor or Professor Gerald for the rest of the video so that I don't stumble on my words when I'm addressing him. So, Gerald here looks pretty darn good. We have the old man carry face with the mustache that's bigger than regular Robotnik. There's a lot of little details on his outfit which are really crisp. Let me see. Let me just... Come on, focus. Come on, camera, you got this. Yeah, he has his little GUN badge. I mean, there's nothing legible on it, but it is there. They even picked out the little silver of the clip that holds onto his pocket. The buttons are painted in. Look, he has a wristwatch. A wristwatch that's picked out in a little bit of paint. They didn't need to do that, but they did. You can even see he has his turtleneck, and they actually got the texturing of the turtleneck sweater in there. And if you look underneath his lab coat, it's hard to see, but yes, the brown shirt does go underneath, showing that his pants are a separate sculpt from his torso, so he does have a waist joint, and it's ball jointed in there, so he's all moving around. So yes, he's quite spry for 110. Yeah, that is just... Everything about that is just really good. There's nothing on here that I do not like. Alright, so let's take a look at his articulation. He has a neck. It feels like it's just a swivel. I think there's a ball joint in there, but it's one of those ball joints that's so deeply recessed he doesn't really get a lot of tilt out of it. His shoulders are universal with the soft ratchets, and you can see in the sculpt that there's a bicep swivel there. His elbows get maybe 91 degrees, and he has a wrist that rotates and has a swivel, so he has expressive hand movements. I already showed you the ball joint waist that he has, so he can bust a move. He has hips, hips that are actually quite free, actually. And the only thing that's impeding their forward and backward movement is the rigidity of the material that makes up his trench coat. His knees get a full 90-degree bend. He has a thigh swivel. He has a thigh swivel, and then his knee can also swivel, so technically his thigh is spinning meat. And he has an ankle rocker and ankle pivot. So, yeah, he has way more articulation than an old man really should have. He is he is very, very well made. Like, they did not skip on anything just because he is an old man action figure. They didn't hold back just because he's the human. He looks pretty darn great. There's, just like everything else, he's really fantastic. Here he is next to his grandson, Dr. Robotnik, and he's even a little bit taller than Robotnik. That's... I didn't notice that before, but yeah, it's kind of weird that he's taller. I mean, they're played by the same actor, so what, is he wearing lifts or something? How do they do that? Alright, oh, and by the way, when I was talking about the material, Robotnik has basically the same hip construction, and on mine, I just made this little tiny mod where I cut the slip up his coat to free it up a little bit, and as you can see, yeah, like, the leg actually is a lot more posable than it looks. Part of me wonders if I should cut up here, but, like, seeing as how the buttons are, like, that would, like, interfere with the sculpting way more than it would on this, so I'm not sure. Although, fun fact, I have bought another Robotnik figure on the outside chance that I'm going to have to make a custom of his final outfit. Now, I'm still holding out some hope that there'll be a wave 4 that'll have Robotnik in his final costume, but that's a very remote possibility. Putting him next to his wave mate Shadow, we can see that the Robotniks are taller, but they don't really seem to be tall enough. But, you know, this is why I always say that these figures actually do play in with the movie 2 figures better. Because, like, in terms of scaling, I feel like the movie 2 the 4-inch scaled figures from the second movie are way more movie accurate in height. So, you know, like, here's a pitch, Jakks. How about you do a multi-pack release of the original movie figures? It can be a pack that has Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails in it, and an exclusive 4-inch scaled Shadow figure. Like, that would be a way to get people to buy the multi-pack, even if they've already had the figures. So, like, I mean, that's a kind of shady business practice that gets people to spend way more money than they want to on a box set, but it would be a way for you to get that figure out, kind of like how you released the Werehog along with a re-release of Super Sonic and a Sonic figure that had everything the same except for a new pair of shoes. You know, I'm just throwing money at you now. But yeah, like, seriously, consider doing that, because I want a Shadow... I mean, I'm gonna make a custom, like, this Sonic figure is set to be my custom 4-inch movie Shadow, but I would really like an official 4-inch movie Shadow, specifically because this scale works so well. I wouldn't even mind the downgrade in articulation. Unless maybe you want to add a waist joint to your 4-inch figure to justify their existence as a new pack. Just pitching things, I actually really love the Gerald Robotnik figure. The cool thing is, the costume is so accurate to the game, I feel like a Gerald Robotnik figure from the movie can just as easily pass as a Gerald Robotnik figure from the game. So, you have him no matter what display you want to put him in. This is a very versatile figure. You can put in multiple collection displays. I mean, I guess, technically speaking, Gerald was a little bit slimmer in the game than he was in the movie, but, you know, again, we're getting into the choosing beggar role. But yeah, I'm really loving how they have figures of the human characters from Sonic. I just wish that we had more than, you know, just Robotniks. Like, like, there are... I feel like the first movie line ended at wave 3, but I really want them to have more than 3 waves, because there are so many more characters that they can make. I mean, we would love to have figures of Tom and Maddie, or a GUN soldier. You know, we got Tails with the mascot helmet on. Why not Knuckles and Sonic with the mascot helmets on? what else can we have? The GUN robots. Like, there was literally an action figure of the GUN hunter on the desk at the beginning of the movie. So we know an action figure size mold of a GUN robot exists and it was used as a movie prop. Why don't we have the actual toy of that? Half the work has already been done for you, Jakks. Let's see. And of course, Agent Stone. We got a 2.5-inch figure of him. I mean, in principle, like, that pack doesn't seem to exist anywhere in any physical location, but it, you know, like, it has been shown to exist online. So, like, yeah, like, an Agent Stone figure exists, just in the smallest scale where he doesn't match anything. But, like, there's so much possibility. And you really screwed yourselves over by trying to have this rule of only having one human character per wave, because then like how many human characters did I mention? A G1 soldier, Tom and Maddie, Agent Stone, you can also have like the GUN commander, and the woman that replaced him. Like, that's at least 6 right off the top of my head. So, like, yeah, like, maybe, you know what? I would just like a human wave. Make a wave that consists of nothing but the human characters from the Sonic movie. I'd buy it. I would buy the heck out of it. And you know what? If you make a generic GUN soldier, or have the Tom figure with a swapping head so that he can look like a generic GUN soldier, then, like, you know, I'll probably buy more than one GUN soldier so I can troop build, because, you know, it's a GUN soldier. I make customs of the GUN soldier. Alright, so I've gone ranting on this long enough. Thank you all for watching this video, and this is Wake Angel 2001 signing off.